This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for the morning of Friday, July 26, 2024. I'm Alex Brown. Perceptions Yoga, Mindfulness, and Art in the Jennings County town of Vernon is looking to crowdfund $20,000 to support a new wheelchair lift at its facility. It's part of the Indiana Housing and Community Development Authority's Creating Places program, which will provide a match if the not-for-profit reaches its crowdfunding goal.
We serve a bunch of seniors in our community, and so since they're one of our main demographics, it's integral that we, get this in place to expand the facility for them.
Co-founder Charlinda Evans. The organization has raised over $7,000 of its $20,000 goal ahead of a September 15th deadline. Representatives from Massachusetts-based Gorton's Seafood were in Lebanon this week to break ground on the company's $89 million cold storage facility. When complete in late 2025, the company said it will employ about 160 workers. The new plant will come in tandem with a 100,000 square foot addition to the United States cold storage warehouse that will be attached to the Gorton's facility. Warsaw-based Lake City Bank is reporting second quarter net income of $22.5 million, up from $14.6 million during the same period last year. CEO David Finley said the bank has seen healthy loan and core deposit growth in the first half of the year, with total loans topping $5 billion. From the number one source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
IBJ Media, Inside Indiana Business, and the Indiana Economic Development Corporation invite you to the Engage Indiana series, presented by CareSource, Indiana University, and Old National Bank. With an unrelenting focus on growing Indiana's economy, we'll dive into each region's unique challenges and distinct opportunities for growth. 9 regions, 1 goal. Indiana's bold future starts here. Discover more and register at ibj.com/engage.
Almost 3 months after police arrested 57 protesters at a pro-Palestine encampment at Indiana University Bloomington, a new independent review released Thursday found the university's inconsistent enforcement of its own policies created confusion and frustration and made governing the campus difficult. IIB's Sarah Simcox has more.
In a 77-page report, law firm Cooley LLP presented new findings about the events leading up to and following the arrests, IU's campus climate, and its administration's response. IU said the firm had unrestricted access to IU during its investigation and interviewed campus representatives along with the Monroe County prosecutor and Indiana State police officers. The law firm also reviewed more than 10,000 internal documents and emails and 100 hours of video footage related to the events. The report also found that an IU ad hoc committee decision to change a decades-long expressive policy, a change that prohibited the use of temporary structures in Dunn Meadow without prior approval, the day before the start of the encampment, was made in good faith, but doing so the night before the planned encampment caused a number of unintended negative consequences. The report also states that IU asked protesters to remove the structures and continue the protest without them, but some protesters refused, and ultimately using the Indiana State Police's assistance was the safest option available to remove the encampment, the report said. The law firm presented 8 recommendations for the university, including approving a new expressive activity policy before the start of the fall semester, and reviewing potential inconsistencies within the policies and make recommendations to the Board of Trustees to address those gaps. You can connect to the full report at InsideIndianaBusiness.com. Sarah Simcox, Inside Indiana Business, Radio.
Community Health Network saw an increase in admissions, emergency visits, deliveries, and physician outpatient visits during the first 6 months of 2024. Yet the Indianapolis-based hospital system saw its operating income drop 44% during the same period to $42.5 million, as expenses rose faster than revenue. Community Health reported this week that salaries, wages, and other employee costs were up 5.1%, drugs, implants, and other supplies were up 9%, laboratory costs and higher contract labor were up 16.4%, and insurance premiums, provider assessment taxes, and other miscellaneous expenses were up 27%. Community Health, which owns 7 hospitals in central Indiana, also pointed to increased revenue deductions and uncompensated care during the period. Longtime broadcaster Betsy Ross is this week's guest on the Business and Beyond podcast with Gary Dick, presented by PNC, a weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports, and entertainment, and beyond. Available now from your favorite podcast provider. I'm Alex Brown for Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand.